Hi, and welcome to Dave's NFL Picks 14-15, Week 3. Wow. Thanks, NFL, for being the dysfunctional mess that you are. In Week 1, you gave us Josh Gordon, Ray Rice, Wes Welker, Ecstasy, and Karate Kicks. In Week 2, you added Greg Hardy, Adrian Peterson, and Switches. I mean, you can't write this stuff. NFL scandals are comedy gold. Which is why this week I'm basing all my picks on what criminals are committing what crimes on what NFL teams. Let's look at their rap sheets, shall we? Tampa Bay at Atlanta. I couldn't find any players on either team that are currently in trouble with the law, but Tampa has two players that qualified during the offseason. Daquan Bowers was arrested February 18th for having a gun in his luggage at LaGuardia. The charges later reduced to disorderly conduct. And Cody Grimm was arrested for public intoxication in Virginia twice, March 10th and May 28th. As for the Falcons, William Moore was arrested on April 18th for simple battery after allegedly grabbing a woman by the shoulder in Atlanta. Tampa's got way better criminals. Bucks by 2. San Diego at Buffalo. The Bills' Marcel Darius has been arrested twice this year, the latest last June for street racing. Witnesses called police after two cars were seen racing down the street in the middle of the day 5 minutes away from the Bills' practice facility. When police arrived, they found Darius had parked his car in a tree. He also faces charges in Alabama, where he was arrested earlier this offseason for possession of synthetic marijuana. The police stopped him because he was speeding. Bills by 2. Dallas at St. Louis. The Cowboys always have players in trouble with the law, but this week the winner is team owner Jerry Jones, who faces a sexual assault charge this week from a woman who claims that he made her touch his penis while another woman gave him a blowjob. This is a crime? St. Louis by 3. Washington at Philadelphia. For the Eagles, Jason Peters was arrested June 12th for street racing and leading police on a high-speed chase. I couldn't find any criminals in Washington, which for that town is a rare feat indeed. Eagles by 5. Houston at the New York Giants. The Houston Texans have been a model franchise when it comes to players staying out of trouble. With just 9 total arrests since the franchise's inception in 2002, the Texans' yearly average for incarceration is 0.75. Ironically, that's Eli Manning's touchdown to interception ratio. Houston by 6. Minnesota at New Orleans. Oh, Adrian Peterson. Ooh. Both these teams have rich criminal pasts. Since the start of this millennium, no team has had more arrests than the Minnesota Vikings at a whopping 44. For those of you counting at home, that's 3.14 arrests per year for the last 14 years. And who can forget the Saints' Bounty Gate? The Vikings' crimes are random, but the Saints had a system that actually worked. Saints by 3. Tennessee at Cincinnati. Brandon Barden of the Titans was arrested March 23rd on suspicion of DUI after driving his car off the road in Georgia. And the Bengals' Pac-Man Jones was arrested June 11th on assault charges for punching a woman outside a club in Cincinnati. Boring crimes. Kind of sums up this game, doesn't it? Bengals by 5. Baltimore at Cleveland. Wow, who knew the Browns had so many criminals on their roster? Desmond Bryant was arrested February 24th for criminal mischief in Miami. Criminal mischief? Armonte Bryant was arrested on May 6th for a DUI in Oklahoma. Ozar Walcott was arrested June 26th for attempted murder after punching a man outside a club in New Jersey. And the biggie, of course, Josh Gordon was suspended for the year for supposedly inhaling secondhand marijuana smoke. I just can't wait to find out what Johnny Football is going to get booked for. Cleveland by 2. Green Bay at Detroit. For Detroit, Amari Spivey was arrested March 27th for third-degree assault on an illicit domestic violence incident involving his girlfriend in Connecticut. Ronell Lewis was arrested April 23rd for getting a bar fight in Oklahoma. And who can forget Ndamukong Suh stomping on the Packers' Evan Dietrich Smith for his 5th on-field violation. What do you expect from a slum like Detroit? Green Bay by 3. Indianapolis at Jacksonville. It is simply a crime to have an NFL franchise in a swamp like Jacksonville. Indianapolis by 6. Oakland at New England. New England has the granddaddy of all criminals in Aaron Hernandez, who was arrested for 2 counts of murder and 5 counts of gun-related charges. The bad news is for Hernandez is that he'll spend the rest of his life in prison. The good news is he'll see hundreds of his NFL pals on a daily basis. New England by 17. San Francisco at Arizona. San Francisco's Alden Smith is suspended 9 games for a DUI and weapons charges, and of course Ray McDonald is suspended 6 games for domestic abuse. The 49ers have so many players in trouble with the law that at their new Levi Stadium, the 12th man is a parole officer. Arizona by 1. Denver at Seattle. Welsh Welker. He was suspended 4 games for taking ecstasy at the Kentucky Derby. Yeah, that's where you should take ecstasy, all right. Somewhere where you can seamlessly blend in with everyone else. Seattle by 2. Kansas City at Miami. 2 key Chiefs players made themselves unavailable to start the season after getting in trouble with the league and the law. Wide receiver Dwayne Bowe was suspended for the season opener, following an arrest last November for marijuana possession. And right tackle Donald Stevenson will miss the first 4 games of the season for violating the NFL's policy on performance-enhancing substances. Even Ricky Williams would find that laughable. Miami by 4. Pittsburgh at Carolina. If Ben Roethlisberger threw half as many touchdowns as the number of his sexual assaults, he'd be a surefire first-ballot Hall of Famer. Carolina by 4. And finally, the Monday night game, Chicago at the New York Jets. Chicago Bears' Evan Rodriguez was arrested for resisting an officer in Miami, charge later dropped, and then for DUI, speeding and improper lane usage in the offseason. The Jets' Cliff Harris was arrested for marijuana possession in New Jersey on May 2nd. So was teammate Claude Davis. And 2 weeks later, Mike Goodson was arrested on drug and gun charges in New Jersey on May 17th. At least the Jets have a drug plan. Chicago by 1. Those are my picks for Week 3. We'll see you next week.